Hi guys, I want to welcome you to the first meeting of the GPNA for 2020. I'm so pleased to see so many people here. It's like blowing my mind. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Laura Keene. I'm their president for 2020. I do want to say, firstly, for those that supported me, I really appreciate your vote, and I will work hard to maintain your support. And for those who did not vote for me or don't know me well, I will work hard to earn your support. I want to briefly discuss 3 areas of focus we have for this term. This is about position. Sorry. Transparency, openness, and inclusivity. With transparency, we're going to be posting all meeting minutes online in a timely fashion. Our agendas will be detailed and complete. I also want to say thanks to Jason for recording and posting our meetings, and then we're streaming them online with Forge Press. With openness, this is an area that GPNA has much room to improve. From talking to people throughout the neighborhood, many decisions appear to be made without consultation for those whom it impacts. This must change. Inclusivity, all members of GPNA need to know that they matter and they have a voice in the direction of their neighborhood. We will be focusing on outreach to areas with low membership, and we will push for more engagement. This is where I show you a map that we made with low membership numbers, but there's nothing there. We live in a really diverse neighborhood. We're diverse in terms of ethnicity, income, age, background. Some of us are homeowners, other of us are renters. But we need to reach out to all residents of Grant Park. We must have a more diverse steering committee that represents the neighborhood. My steering committee appointees will better reflect the composition of this neighborhood. It is time we make it easy for people to engage in neighborhood issues, to meet members where they are. I will use those all available tools to conduct outreach to y'all. We live in an on-demand culture, and it's time for GPNA to adapt to the times. We will be conducting surveys over the next couple months to find out what our neighbors want and what issues they feel are most pressing. I've become increasingly concerned about the overall lack of neighborhood participation in the last year. In the year 2020, our attendance averaged at 23 people. Last year, GPNA was not able to fill 2 open positions. Attendance at committee meetings was also sparse. It is clear that we need to improve our neighborhood engagement. I believe by engaging more people, GPNA will not only make better decisions, but those decisions will reflect the will of the neighborhood. We will be dealing with several significant issues this year. LUZ will continue to guide and make decisions about development in our neighborhood. We will be living with these choices for many years to come. Let's all make sure we attend as many of these committee meetings as we can. Just so you know, they're held at the first Thursday of the month, literally across the hall. We have permit parking, and I'm going to make sure to inform you of any updates on this process, and I want to make sure that this is a community-focused decision. How do we balance preservation and progress? We need member input on this issue, or it will be guided by a select few. Here are ways that GPNA would be different. We're going to have socials after every meeting. I don't know if you all saw, but I've cider and cookies up front. We will listen more. We will plan to reach out by surveying neighbors about their needs. Not only those who are already involved, but focusing on those who are not. We're also going to be doing a bylaws review because they haven't been updated in several years. I want to close with a call to action. I ask you to bring at least one friend or one neighbor who has never attended a GPNA general meeting to the next meeting in February. Please raise your hand if you are willing to commit to do this. Woo! Together, let's build a stronger, kinder, and more inclusive neighborhood, and a safer one. I know that there's concern about a resident who was shot in the leg last week on Park Ave. I understand she's currently doing okay. I invite Chris Newman and the APD officer to issue their report and take your questions now. And thank you again for your participation and your membership in GPNA. Together, we can help make Grant Park neighborhood the best neighborhood association in all of the lands.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Sergeant Simmons, so I'm new to you guys' zone. I've been here since November. I did respond out to the incident over at Park Avenue, and it was just a really unfortunate situation. As far as her recovery, yeah, she was pretty good, I think. Even with the injuries that were there and with leaving the hospital, she was released within probably 30 minutes of the incident. But as far as what I can say specifically about the incident, as the city of Atlanta continues to go through this gentrification process, you're just going to have a mixture of everything. You're going to have your high income, your low income. You're going to have people who have lived here for years and people that are just moving into the city. You're going to have neighborhoods that are already established and that are newly neighborhoods that are constantly being built as I speak. And what I want to say about that is how the issues in your neighborhood, the outcomes of those are determined by how you all come together. Same thing that I say in my neighborhood, you have to get involved. Luckily, she was able to get to a neighbor's house and they were able to say, yeah, we'll gladly take you in, we'll call 911 and get you some help. Not only that, we're gonna go look and see if we see anybody. They had available camera footage to kind of help out with the investigation. And so the good thing about it is they've already had a rapport with different people in the area. She felt safe enough to go there because she had that rapport with those individuals. And so what I say is the only people that can help you are the people that live next door to you. The people that when they pull in the driveway, you say, hey, it's 5 o'clock, Karen's home. Is that Karen's car? Hey, maybe that's unusual. Hey, looks like somebody else may have shown up. Looks like maybe those guys don't belong there. It's the different things that you see and you look out in the norms of everyday life from each other that will kind of mold what happens when these incidents arise. And so even coming to these meetings, everybody say, yeah, it's not that important. I kind of used to kind of throw my neighborhood association off as well and say I just don't have the time for that. But I needed to get to know my neighbors and I needed to get familiar with their patterns and their habits. That way when I saw something outside of that scope, I would be able to report it to police or even just have the information available just if they had any questions about it. Hey, I had a package delivered, did you see it? Well, no, or maybe I'll say, yeah, she didn't get out to 8 and they bought this package at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll just take it and put it away until she gets there so it doesn't come up missing. So as far as you guys just getting involved, that's what it's going to take. I know that everybody has the same questions about crime coming up and what are we going to do and what is the police going to do. But I always say that we have to be vigilant as well in our own neighborhoods. What's really been helping us solve some of these issues with crime is people that have the Ring doorbell cameras. We're getting footage and believe it or not, surveillance is really helping us because nobody has a place that they can necessarily hide. It used to be if something happened, you could say, I didn't see that car, I don't remember seeing anybody, but with technology today and us having the surveillance, you guys got to kind of step up to that too and get with the times to get those things out because that's how we solve these investigations. As police, we can't be everywhere at one time, but those are some of the things that help out. Some of the neighborhoods have got some of the license readers, so entry and exit through neighborhoods, if you get a license plate scan, if we need to go back in investigation, we can pinpoint if a car has been there. We may not be able to say if the car is stolen or who was actually driving the car, but we'll actually be able to get vehicle registration to that owner where we can track back, well, who was the person that was driving your car during this time or this time frame, or did you loan it out? So it's just some different things that you guys can do as well, just to kind of help out with that part. And just like I say, look out for your neighbors. Get each other's contact. We also have a Facebook forum with my neighborhood association that we're constantly going back and forth if we see something that may be obscure happening in the neighborhood or something that just seems, and everybody just goes back, hey, did you see the red car parked down the street? Yeah, I saw the red car. And everybody starts to chime in on these things. And so even if you can come together with that, the times that we live in are not the same times that I grew up in. The communities in which the neighbors go and take each other cakes or babysit each other kids, it's just not like that anymore. And so I encourage you, even as she says, you guys grab a friend, bring them along, because you guys are what's gonna be the strength in your neighborhood. You guys are gonna be the first line of defense to protect your neighborhood and each other when these things come up. I guess that's a spiel, that's all a spiel like that. You guys have anything?
Photos of the perpetrators for the gunshot incident.
Oh, so we were on that day. I mean, I'm really impressed with the information that we got that day, and the investigators that were out there. We just really have a strong group of investigators. So it's not one of those instantaneous result things. We have to make sure that we put things together in place. So we have the suspects listed that day. So what has to happen now is we have to make sure that everybody goes through the proper channels. That way, as far as warrants, we just don't want the case to get thrown out. So in order to do that, we have to be careful in the way that we put this thing together. And just like I said, those are some of the things that really helped us out with being able to identify who these people were the surveillance in the area. If somebody is at 262 Cherokee Avenue and you have Ring cameras are at 263 and 265, those videos get captured as the people are running by. Maybe they ran in your backyard. Maybe they ran up to your car to see if your door was unlocked to jump in it. So those are some of the investigative tools that help. So that was a part of what helped us in this investigation. Yes, ma'am.
With that particular incident, all of the local schools weren't notified, and that was concerning to me because my son goes to Parkside, and minutes prior to the Park Avenue shooting, they were on Parkside's campus drinking in cars. So what determines when the schools get notified?
So that's not true. Actually, that particular call during the same time that came up, then there was also a call of the vehicles breaking and happening over at Maynard. So they were automatically notified. Actually, APS was able to tell us, hey, we have an incident happening over here. And most times what happened is we work closely together with them. I mean, APS, a lot of their officers are our officers too, but when it comes to the safety, even though they have their own police department, we still have to respond to a lot of those incidents. So as far as locking down the school, they would be the determining factor of when they lock down the school. But as far as them knowing of what was going on during that time, they also put out information as well, just let us know. So, anybody else? Yes, sir.
One of the news reports referred to another shooting in the last 2 weeks, it's a mile away. Custer.
You talking about over there, I don't want to hear negative things about Value Village.
I'm just talking about one of the news reports said there was another shooting, and I was curious if it was in the same neighborhood or.
You would have to give me more specific on maybe a better address or maybe some details
All
about
I
it.
cited was it was a mile away from the shooting last week. I'm new to the area. I'm officially not just outside the Grant Park boundary into Somerville and Peoplestown and Ormond. But it seems like the Grant Park Neighborhood Association is extremely organized, as it is. So it kind of seems like they're doing a lot of what you're already recommending. But I mean, are the police going to do anything else? Is this indeed like a new trend?
Is what a new trend?
The break-ins, it sort of seems
No.
like.
Break-ins, so break-ins have been happening, but what happens is this. Crimes are crimes of opportunity. So as far as predictability, that's not there. But what you do have is people that are coming in and out, and if they see the opportunity to do so, if nobody's around, if nobody's paying attention, they're gonna take advantage of that. So vehicle larcenies, there's nothing new about it now. The rate in which they are happening, we could say so, but I also see a lot of the same trends in the rate in which the vehicle larcenies are happening, some of the same components. And you say people may be doing a lot of the same things already, but I can tell you a lot of the reports that we have when vehicles are broken into, there are a lot of personal items that are left inside of those vehicles visible. And those are things that make those vehicles targets, whether they be a laptop computer, whether they be jewelry, some people leave weapons. I mean, just different things. So as far as it being something new, larceny's a vehicle.
Okay, and just to finish, so are the police gonna do anything new?
Can I,
So,
just real quick, I'm sorry. So, being in the city, yeah, but I think that obviously we welcome the neighborhood, but there's a lot of inequality in the community, so I think that like what you were saying, the cops do, the police do a lot. We're very lucky to have very organized precincts, and they're out there in, I would say that one of the ways the crimes are reported is unfortunately flawed, but the police are about, we're actually very lucky to have a police community that actually responds regularly. But as was said, I mean, officers show up to our community meetings, and some people are engaged, but what Laura was saying earlier, is reaching out to more of the community and doing more, because there are a lot of people that are not here. But yes, income inequality is a huge thing in our community, we're trying to do a lot more and be better about that. But unfortunately, it provides crimes opportunity because people will have access to a lot of shifty neighborhood, as the officer was saying, a lot of new people coming in. So I think that also falls to maybe being careful and being aware so we don't do things like profile and being more engaged. But I don't think it solely falls on the officers because, with all due respect, they do a lot of work. So.
and we do appreciate that. I appreciate that. Police are out there, we are, but majority of the time that we do, I mean, a lot of the time, I don't even say majority, but a lot of the time that we are spending on a lot of these vehicle break-ins. And each and every time, if we have a laptop that may be left or some items left in the vehicle and we respond to this vehicle larceny, well, that takes us away from this or that. Or, you know, something that may be more egregious, or just even circling the area just to monitor those things. So, and I'm not saying that the police, we don't do our best or don't need any improvements. I'm not saying that either. But what I am saying is, I have a great group of guys that's out there. And every day that I show up, and I get out there in the streets as well, I mean, we actually, I think we have a good group of people that are passionate about what we do and try to control as much as we can, but we just can't control everything and not all these factors. So, but we do have a passionate group of guys, and we're out there. And larcenies, you know, some days there are a lot more egregious things happening than those things. And we're out there, and everybody shows back up every day like it's a new day. We don't carry that home. We come back and we show up like, well, what do we need to do today? So, one more. Yes, sir.
This and other issues would be good discussion topics in our monthly public safety committee meeting, which coincidentally meets tomorrow evening at 6:30 in East Atlanta at the Village Church. 1 hour prior to the monthly interview meeting at the same place.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to give you my email address. That way, if you have any specific concerns, we do have a new major that's been assigned to the zone. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Major Villarreal. I think he got assigned maybe like 2 weeks ago. You also have a new captain in the zone, and that's going to be Captain Zigai. And he's new to the zone as well, but they've both been on the department probably 25 plus years. And various units, so as far as experience, they do have that, from robbery to gangs to, I mean, just so much stuff. So, but I'm gonna give you my email address specifically. I just wanna let you guys know that we got the new leadership happening. That way, if you have anything, any questions, any concerns, this transparency, I mean, there's really nothing to hide here, guys. It's not as far as when I say what I have to say. So if you have anything, just let me know, and I'll get up to the powers that be, and if it needs to go further than that, and if not, I'll just try to help you where I can as much as I can. So my email address is going to be D.A. Simmons. I'm going to spell it out. It's going to be D as in David, A as in Adam, S as in Sam, I as in Ida, M as in Mary, M as in Mary, O as in Oscar, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, @ symbol, Atlanta, And so anything you might have, just send it to me, and I'll do the best I can to get you the results that you need. And if not, I'll get you to the person who can handle it. That's all I got for you guys.
All right, now that we have audio or maybe visual, look at this awesome map with percentages that we made. So you can see, obviously on the west side of the park, we have a low Woodson Street, 0%. From our Woodson side. Yeah! Thanks for showing up. Thank you. I wanted to also address unfinished business, which is the 2019, December 2019 minutes. We do not have those available. I have to go through the video and finalize them, but they will be ready by our February general meeting. All right, on to item 2. Steering committee meetings are open to the association. The steering committee meets at 7 p.m. on the second Tuesday of each month at the Atlanta Preservation Center. As per Article 7, Section 3 of bylaws, steering committee meetings shall be open to the association members for observation. Bylaws notwithstanding, I ran on the platform of transparency. Item 3, the 2020 budget and action plan. There's a motion required on this, but unfortunately, in December 2019, there was no attempt to develop and present an annual action plan and itemized budget as required by Article 6, Section 4 of our bylaws. This fact, compounded by the number of unfilled committee chair positions, makes it impossible to receive the necessary member review and comment. To mitigate this issue and to comply with the bylaws, I will present the 2019 as the 2020 budget and Shell action plan as the 2020 action plan. Assuming that these motions are seconded, I would then request that somebody move to table the motions. This will allow us to comply with the bylaws while giving the membership and newly appointed committee chairs, which is happening later, the opportunity to voice their opinion. Once the new committee chairs are in place, we can take these motions off the table and amend them as necessary. Any questions? I would like to move that we adopt the 2020 budget as outlined in Exhibit A of the agenda.
Second.
Mr. Boris? Yeah. Move to second. It is seconded that the association adopt the 2020 budget as outlined in Exhibit A of the agenda. The motion is in order and now open for discussion. Can I get a motion? Yep.
Should we just motion to move it to?
The table?
Yeah, just table it.
Sure. Dr. Finlayson has moved that the motion before the association be laid on the table. Motions to table are not debatable. All of those in favor?
Aye.
All of those opposed? Motion is on the table. All right. Motion for the 2020 action plan. I would like to move that we adopt the 2020 action plan as outlined as in Exhibit B of the agenda. Can I get a second?
Second.
I heard a second. It is moved and seconded that the association adopts the 2020 budget as outlined in Exhibit A of the agenda. The motion is in order and now open for discussion.
I'm sorry, you did action.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Wait,
Motion to table that.
yeah. Thank you, Paul Sima. Motions moved on the table, and motions on the table are not debatable. All of those in favor? Aye. All of those opposed? It's on the table. Now, item 4, President's selection of members to fill vacant positions. It is my responsibility to fill vacant leadership positions. Article 5, Section 6 creates a 2-step process. In this meeting, I'll be informing you of my selection. Next meeting, we will be discussing and voting on these nominations. As I introduce the nominees, I ask that each of the candidates provide a brief introductory statement, and you'll have an opportunity to review their bios and on the GP&A website and on Facebook. I'm proud to say that all of these candidates have stated that they will recuse themselves in the event of any conflicts of interest. I'd like to introduce Audra Cunningham as Vice President, my nominee for Vice President. Woo!
And good evening. I have been a City of Atlanta resident since 2005 and been a Grant Park resident since 2014. I am a commercial real estate broker with a business in Atlanta to DC, but very proud to be here and look forward to supporting the organization. I've previously been the president of my HOA and live over on Mead Street. Questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Catherine Mancy is secretary up there at the top. Woo!
Hi. I'll come down into I stood up here to dramatically do it. My name is Catherine Mancy. I am the public programming and community engagement specialist at the Georgia Tech Library. I've been in Grant Park just about 3 years, and I live on Wilson Street. We're representing Grant Park tonight. Yeah. Changing that 0%. Yeah, and I used to be a high school teacher in St. Louis, Missouri, and I grew up in Augusta, Georgia.
Thank you. Eliza Adams, fundraising.
Go Dogs.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eliza Adams. For those of you who may not know me, this would actually be, I think, a second go-around with GPNA. Initially, I was philanthropic and secretary. Now I'm diving into fundraising. I'm a lifelong Grant Park resident. My family has roots here going all the way back to 1902. Some of y'all might know my dad. He's the old curmudgeonly guy on Cherokee between Millage and Cherokee Place, always raking leaves. That's Robert. Some of y'all might know my uncle, Bill. He runs a real estate company. I can't remember the name of it. I look forward to continuing on with GPNA and all. Thanks. Yay.
Let's round of applause for all of the candidates and their willingness to serve the neighborhood. So I think we should skip land use and zoning because Rick is still not here, unless you want to do it, Stephanie?
We do have, we'll wait and see. Can we wait and see if he shows?
Yes, that's fine.
Rick will be here.
He's on his way.
All right, we'll just skip that for a second and go to item 8. I recognize Home and History Chair Paul Sema for 5 minutes to discuss item 8 on the agenda.
Okay. So don't pay attention to, well, you can look at this map, but that's not, this is the local historic district. What the Homes and History Committee was doing over the last about year and a half is looking at the Grant Park North National Register Historic District. This map outlined in red is the local historic district, so this is, it's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about right now. We've been looking, discussing with the State Historic Preservation Office about the fact that we got a lot of folks in the upper east side and some other properties throughout the north section between Memorial and I-20 that they wanted to take advantage of tax credits and some of the things that you can get with the National Register Historic District. So we've gone through the process. We attempted to expand the district. If any of you were at our meetings over the last year or so, we attempted to expand the North Grant Park District east as far as Connolly and west as far as Connolly and east as far as Berrien and actually past Berrien. What's the next? What's the one that runs along the ambulance facility? Chastain. Just a couple weeks ago, we got informed by the State Historic Preservation Office. They did tour all of the properties that we did research and sent in spreadsheets and things on, that unfortunately in that area, there now have been too many intrusions, too many new homes, too many houses that have been built on insensitively, and they mixed just about everything. So we cannot expand our National Register Historic District on the north side. East of Boulevard, northwest of Hill, there's also big gaps like the power station and things, which really create these kind of no man's lands where you can't really get the district that far. We did get approval to add some properties to the central North Grant Park North National Register Historic District, and we'll keep working with them over probably another year. And there may be some extra blocks added. If they allow us to expand what's called the period of significance, we can take our time period right now and go back 50 years and get anything that goes up to 1970 included in the expansion, which means we might be able to capture some of the Memorial Drive mid-century, the gas station where Augustine's is, and the row of commercial, the old grocery store where Tin Lizzie's is and Ria's and things. But we'll have discussions with those owners and things, but we may be able to get some mid-century stuff. The Quonset hut where Mescalitos is, which is like a 1940s building. So we do have some opportunities, but it's mainly going to be in the central core for those of you who live on the east side of things. We've done our best, but that's my update. You know, we've been told by the State Historic Preservation Office, and this is the end of the line for expanding it east and west. Thanks.
Thank you. So we still don't have Rick. I can tell you about the Cherokee Avenue Safer Streets project. Mayor Bottoms is introducing a multimodal lane on Cherokee, or it's proposed. There's a meeting next Thursday? Next Wednesday from 6 to 8 at the Georgia Hill Center. I think it's very important that everyone show up. If anybody you know that lives on Cherokee, anyone that could be impacted by Cherokee, which is probably all of us, needs to be there. Carla was going to come talk, but I think she was busy. She emailed me like 20 minutes ago. Good, go ahead.
Do you want me to comment on that?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, a lot of you probably have some of these flyers in hand.
Oh, it's up front too.
Huh?
A bit more up front.
Yeah, oh, thank you. One important thing to note, if you see it on social media where we're posting it in the first reaction, which completely makes sense, is everyone saying, what about Boulevard? We just want to make clear that this is in two different hands. This is two completely separate projects. This is all our mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms. And so just take and keep that in mind. The survey would be really important. We just don't want that ditched. I mean, we want to focus as many things as we can. I think another thing that I plan to share and post is what some of us have projected as far as we've got Cherokee, we've got Hill, we've got Grant, as far as how to delegate parking and stuff on those streets as well. They're all in conjunction with one another. So fill out that survey and just keep in mind, if we talk about, Boulevard and not Cherokee, that's not the answers that they're looking for. I don't think there's anybody in this room that would disagree. Boulevard is not.
Where do you access the survey, Stephanie?
It's on, if you guys look, there's bold and make it, it's at the very bottom. I cannot answer any questions about what they're going to do with that.
We also put it on Facebook. I posted it on Nextdoor.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep, if you want to bump or like my posting, that'd be great to keep it relevant.
Just try and share that. And if you guys can help clarify that information with other neighbors, that this is two completely separate, that would really help. And encourage people to take that survey. Thank you.
Paul, do you want to talk about the subdivision of 778 Delmar?
Sure.
Because it was the AEDC.
Yeah, this is something that Rick and my committee are looking at. It comes through our Homes and History Committee, really actually right now this week, because the Atlanta Urban Design Commission gets the first shot at making any comment, review and comment of subdivisions. So our committee, even though the applicant has they've been in touch with me, but they haven't been, our meeting is going to skip. It's going to be next Monday. So their project is already going to show up at AUDC Wednesday. If you're in that area and you're interested and you want to make any public comments, please attend the Atlanta Urban Design Commission at 4 p.m. However, from our committee standpoint, if you're familiar, we've got lots here and there around the neighborhood that are extremely long and they have two frontages. This is one of those situations. The lot at 778 Delmar goes all the way through for 302 feet, all the way to Linwood Avenue. And so, and it's 50 feet wide. There's precedent of a few other lots that have been subdivided east and west into 250 by 150 foot lots. That's what this particular property is looking to do. Of course, in the end, I mean, it doesn't take much to put two and two together. They will eventually, probably sometime in the future, be doing this so that there could be a house on Linwood, facing Linwood. They do know that any houses or anything facing there would have to come through full design review in the future, but there's no house on the on the measure right now. This is just for lot subdivision. The city staff has already made their recommendation to support through the Atlanta Urban Design Commission. Our committee, being that there's precedent of like a few other lots, and from the history side, our traditional lot size in the neighborhood on just about every street is anywhere from about 120 to 150 feet deep by 50 feet wide. So these would be two what would be considered conforming traditional lots. They would fit to the, you know, the historic grid pattern of the neighborhood. And so we're looking for your support tonight to support us, to support the staff's recommendation to the Atlanta Urban Design Commission to approve.
It's also on the agenda for tomorrow's MPU meeting.
Yeah.
The MPU meeting is at 7:30 at the Village Church. Please do not park at the gym parking, because you will get your car towed.
And just because it gets approved through ADC, and if NPU still sees it, these are recommendations by those boards to the Board of Zoning Adjustment, which meets, I don't know when they meet, later this month, and you still have another chance. That's when the real stamp gets hit. So these are all recommendations, and we can just do this by precedent and history.
Just a quick clarification, you said that, so if everything's approved and the subdivision goes through, does that necessarily, that doesn't have anything to do with all the trees that could potentially be on the backside of that? That would be separate.
That's totally separate. That's later when they're ready to, if and whenever they're going to develop it, they'd have to figure out a whole plan on how to site a house in between trees and which ones to save and which ones. That's not this at all.
Thank you.
This is just subdivision.
Well, do you need a motion from us tonight? Is that?
Yeah, I'm looking at, our motion is to support the staff's motion through the AEDC process.
So shall I point of order?
But I see a lot of hands. And this is a
The
fairly,
chair recognizes Mr. Boris.
So the agenda says that this is not going to be a vote. I don't think it's fair to neighbors who expected there not to be a vote, who chose not to show up, to then weigh in on this.
well, it's gonna happen Wednesday whether or not, it's going through AEDC. So
That's tomorrow.
that's tomorrow.
At 4 o'clock
AEDC.
in City
So-
Hall.
So we'll,
I have a very fundamental
Yeah.
question. Can you describe to me where this is on Delmar?
yeah, about mid-block, Delmar between the Beltline and United, and then it just goes back through to
Going
Linwood.
to east on Delmar, it'd be on the left side.
Yes,
about
yeah.
midway through.
And again, guys, you've got multiple chances. You can go to NPU, you can still go to BZA, you can go to AUDC and have all of this is just one recommendation that comes through our committee to go to AUDC. So,
I'd
one more.
like to point out one thing to you that you might not realize. I live 2 houses from that
Yeah.
house. And the house that's at 78 does not have a driveway. The driveway that is for that house is on the alley, Linwood, and that's where the garage is. So, right now, that house is rented, and there's 5 adults living in that house that are driving 5 cars that are parking all over the street, okay? So, I'm 2 houses from the dead end, and that's 4 houses from the dead end, so it's a problem. So there when you think about the subdivision of that lot, there will be no driveway at 778.
I don't think they've presented any plans for a driveway, but,
Right.
and
So
it's
that's
up to
something
you
that-
and neighbors, if you see non-code compliant, if they subdivide this and now it's 2 lots, you can call in things to code enforcement and things as you see
Right.
fit.
And the other thing is, you talk about that there's precedent because there's other lots that are divided. There is a lot, 2 from that, actually one from that, but they're side by side and not long, and both of those, the one that is next to it that has been subdivided, they both are on Linwood and both would have parking on Linwood. So this is not going to have any parking. So I'm sure that's not even, I would guess that's not even been brought up.
No, it's just a lot subdivision, they don't have any, this isn't a planning, this
Most
isn't
of
like
Grant Park has street.
Yeah, and most-
Driveways are very rare.
Yeah, we do, a lot of people have driveways, or a lot of people are just doing street parking, but if you see anything
A lot of
happening,
that. Pretty much everybody on our street on Delmar has a driveway?
Just because they're doing a lot subdivision, they're, you know, I mean, they're just invisible lines, so they may continue to park from the backside or something, I don't know, there's no, this has just been presented to us as a subdivision, and it's, you know, some kind of rubber stamp.
Yeah,
So,
2 more
I
questions.
appreciate that, but keep your eye on things. As a neighbor, you see people parking all over lawns and things like that, keep calling code enforcement. Yeah,
I just had a question, because she said she's a neighbor.
Yes.
I thought it was land use and zoning meeting for GPNA, so there was a neighbor meeting. Was there a neighbor, any land use meeting? Because that was when I noticed when land use and zoning.
I don't know, it could be for another, I think you're thinking of 778 Linwood. There's a lot of activity on Linwood right now, that's probably what you're thinking of, which is on Linwood, across the street in the same latitude.
So did this one have immediate neighbors?
No, this is just going through AUDC, and it's going through NPU, and it's just going through the steps.
Okay.
I was just curious about how the recent moratorium was going to affect this subdivision.
I have no idea, it's the land use and zoning, I don't even know what you're referring to.
The zero lot line moratorium, probably, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I have no idea about that. That's something that comes out of land use and zoning.
That wouldn't be directly related to
No.
just the division of the property without construction.
All right, I don't want to waste anybody's time, this is a
Yeah,
fairly
we're doing really good on time,
straight
so-
thing, so.
But all
Oh, go ahead, Steve.
subdivisions,
Go ahead.
subdivisions are comment only, there's no vote.
They are review and comment only, exactly, as well.
There's
Thank
no
you.
vote at the NPU
So-
meeting, there's no vote at City Hall, it's a matter of city code. If you can legally subdivide a piece of property, then you are entitled.
What Steve says is correct. So what we're really looking for is a support to support the support of the staff or a recommendation. I mean, this is just,
So
it's,
then, if this is comment only,
Yeah.
then
and
there's
it
no
goes
vote.
into a review and comment only.
So I recommend
Exactly.
everybody attend our MPU meeting tomorrow.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Given that the neighbors haven't met and people look directly impacted by it and haven't had a meeting, I comment that I do not support it.
I'll
Okay.
pass it along to
And
you.
we'll pass it along for the comment, and I tell all the neighbors who are nearby to please go to NPU tomorrow, go to AUDC, go to the BZA. This is the time that we're presenting it to you. You know, it's your time to show up and make all those comments, or a lot of these things, you know, don't go through these immediate neighbors' problems.
Besides that, you gotta show up anyway because there is a voting requirement. You gotta attend 3 meetings in a 12-month period in order to vote at the NPU.
Bring that up at NPU. That's not a point of discussion for this.
All right, y'all, we got 10 minutes left.
All right, thanks, guys.
Does anyone have any new business? You have, please. Short and sweet, please.
Yeah, I'll try to do it quick. My name is Robin South. I've lived in Grant Park for 33 years. By definition, I'm a senior now. And there's been a group of senior citizens meeting at the Atlanta Rec Center for a little over a year. The group's probably got 12 regular attendees, and we're trying to grow. The funding for that exercise program came through the Atlanta recreational thing, and it's a big bureaucratic mess that how they do it. But there's a new manager there. He has established some new ground rules, and we can't get any clue whether we can get any funding to keep that exercise program going, which is a polite way of saying paying the exercise leader, which is Maria Mauer. The group is asking Grant Park, the Neighborhood Association, to fund that exercise leader, Maria Mauer, to keep this exercise program going. We believe we can get into the rec center as a site, but we can't get, we've totally failed to get the city to even tell us what we have to do to get funding. So out of frustration, we're looking for an alternative funding. which is why we're asking Grant Park Neighborhood Association. Yes, Steve?
I want to talk with you about the Parks Commissioner, John Dargle.
Can we move this to the reception?
I
'Cause
can
I got
talk
a
with you
ton
later
more.
about that, and as some kind of
All right,
recompense.
Steve. All right, anyway, anybody else who's new business? Yes.
Wait, is that?
Yeah, I want, are you?
Second?
I'm Barbara Antonopoulos. I just want to encourage everybody to go online, Stephanie, beltlinerailnow.org or .com. Maybe all of you know that the original reason for the Beltline was to put light rail transit on a 22-mile loop throughout the whole city. MARTA is now saying they're not going to start it till 2040, if ever. So there's a petition by the organization Beltline Rail Now pushing for the transit, trying to get 10,000 signatures real quick, and we're almost there. So please get involved in that issue. Go online, sign the petition, sign up to get updates, and show up. We need that transit.
Thank you.
Where do we go?
So, point of order, Mr. South made a motion.
For funding? So it's complicated because it's not,
So,
oh, sorry. I don't know what to say.
so ask for a second.
Oh, can I get a second?
What was the motion?
To get support from Grant Park.
To support the rec center.
How much is needed?
They need.
That needs to be brought to Sears.
So is there a second?
Piece of the Atlanta Rec Center, we're talking about the Grant Park Recreation Center?
Yes.
In Grant Park?
Yes, the one, you know.
I move to table that motion or
Yeah.
refer it to committee.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion stabled. All right.
What was the
New
amount?
business, huh?
What was the amount?
I think is it 29.8? What's the amount? I think it's like just under 3,000. Yes.
Oh, I'm
How
sorry.
much money do you need?
It's
for
29.
your leader?
1,720 through November. It covers $20 a session, 2 sessions a week.
Is that on a sliding scale for people who can't afford to pay?
No, it's straight up funding.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary Fernandez. I'm the Special Events Manager at Oakland Cemetery. I'll keep it short and sweet. Oakland is about to work on raising funds for a big restoration of a large section of the cemetery as well as the rehabilitation of the bell tower. We are also adding a new gate in the southeast corner at Memorial Boulevard. Woo! For accessibility, very exciting. We're working on the fundraising projects, and we're really grateful for GP&A's support for the Community Empowerment Fund grants, and we'll let you know how it turns out. And if anyone has any specific questions about that particular fundraising, I'd like to direct y'all to our president, one of our co-directors, Richard Parker. Come to me afterwards if you need his email. As far as special events that are coming up, there's free tours of the historic African American burial grounds during the month of February. Check out our Facebook. There's only a few remaining spots for our February 15th Love Stories tour. The Valentine's Day one is sold out, but you can still get in on the 15th. And finally, Illumin is our next big special event. Get excited. That is our large art event, and it's coming up the last weekend of April and the first weekend of May. So tickets will be on sale soon, and will be March 1st. Thank you. Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Just real quick up the Beltline Transit, the Beltline Rail. Every of you signed on to that, and there was actually, all of that was written out for city council people to actually carry that through. No city council person actually did. They said they were on board, but nobody had championed any of that legislation. So if you want to see Beltline Rail actually go forward, rather than seeing all of our money go to the Clifton corridor, which by the way, Beltline Rail costs a quarter of what it takes to expand MARTA. And if you, I don't know if you guys know, but we have pretty bad traffic. And so that Beltline Rail, and not by 2040, but the reason that they're not doing it right now is because the good business community is pushing for all that money to go in the Clifton corridor, which is why they annexed Emory in the first place. So my recommendation would be, yes, absolutely petition, but those city council people that keep telling you that they're championing the transit, ask them why they haven't championed anything yet. So and also call them and ask them why they're not doing that, because that's also going to go a long way too. Call them. Correct. So show up to the transportation committees and do that, because waiting until 2040, I don't know about y'all, but this city is not going to be your progress to play with. So thank you for bringing Beltline.
I'm gonna be real quick, no more negative Nancy. I'm David Mitchell, I'm with the Atlanta Preservation Center. In March, there's a thing called the Phoenix Flies coming up. It's the most altruistic thing you can experience in the city of Atlanta. We do over 100 free events. We have supporters in the room that know who they are. Thank you, you're loved and appreciated. And it's really, really wonderful to do something that really exhibits the best that Atlanta has to offer. There are a lot of good things in Atlanta, and we exhibit them very well in March. Thank you.
What about tickets?
You don't have to buy a ticket because it's all free. What you do is you go onto Eventbrite, which will be our new way of doing it, and so that way you can sit in the comfort of your bathtub at 9 o'clock on a Saturday and just go up and down on your phone. Very well.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, social.
You guys, just another thing, there is a new, there's a website called dwellsocial.com. It's kind of just getting going. It's a matter of making referrals to businesses based upon location. The point is to try and save different service providers like plumbers, roofers, whatever, from driving very far. We're trying to support local businesses, or if they are far away, at least scheduling them at a close together time. So not only is it good for the environment because they're not trying to drive at the same, they're not making trips all over the map, but also they're going to give a percentage of that, 10%. They're trying to boost businesses to the neighborhoods and surroundings, and they're also donating 10% of that to the neighborhood association. I am not fundraising chair. This is going to be passed off next month. But there were discussions. We'll probably finalize what we're exactly going to make these contributions for. So if you guys could sign up and just get it going, and also pass the word along to businesses. Get them signed up so it takes off. I mean, we all use, well, we don't all use, but a lot of us use Nextdoor as far as referrals, and I've had a lot of success with that, honestly. But I would love to pass on this business and do a lot of more for our local community.
What is the name of the website?
Well Social.
All right, new committee, if you're interested in volunteering and actually making the difference, there's committee sign-up sheets outside. Also, we have cookies and cider. But before we go, I wanted to introduce all the new members. Please stand up. Everyone make a point to introduce yourselves to all the new members out there. Enjoy these cookies. I made them from scratch.
I have one more new business.
Yes.
My name is Morgan McClellan. My wife and I own the York Pie up at Hill Street Memorial, and we live in the neighborhood too, and we're hitting our 2-year anniversary on Thursday next week. Thank you so much for all the support. We had a really rough year when our parking deck shut down for 8 months, so I really appreciate all the support y'all gave us. We're doing $5 pizzas all day long Thursday, and then we are donating 10% to the Grand Park Trans Network. So come on, have fun. Thank you very much.